All right, everybody, we are back on the Iona Athletics podcast. We have another in-studio guest today. My guest today, a redshirt senior on the Iona volleyball team. She's a libero and a member of the 2018 MAC champions. Jessica Paolucci is here today. Jessica, welcome. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm very glad you are here. So before we dive into everything, so I know volleyball is your passion. So when did you start playing volleyball? When did you realize this is something I really want to do?
Yeah, volleyball was a big part of me and my sister's lives when we were young. We kind of played around with different sports, but it wasn't until 8th grade we kind of found that we really wanted to stick with it. Probably even a little earlier, but we kind of bonded over it. Me and my sisters would play in the yard and all that. And a lot of the friendships that I built were really meaningful, so I kind of knew that that was where I should be. I should be playing volleyball.
Yeah, so how many sisters do you have?
So I have 2 older sisters and an older brother.
Yeah, so you guys had a nice 2-on-2 volleyball setup going on in the backyard.
Yeah, no, we would have my brother play, but he was just always the bigger, stronger one, so he'd be launching the balls in the air and stuff. So it was always friendly competition.
Did your team win a lot?
Yes, always.
I can definitely imagine that. So you ended up playing NCAA D1 volleyball, so that's definitely why. So,
yeah.
So how did you end up picking the position of being a libero? So what drew you to that?
I always had a defensive mentality, I guess, and it didn't help that I've been 5'7" since I was in 7th grade. So I guess I wasn't growing anymore, and I just kind of liked the defensive aspect of volleyball and how you can kind of get your points for your teammates and help them set them up for the best success.
Yeah, it's definitely a key quality to have on a volleyball team. And people are not aware, you're from Florida, correct?
Yes.
So it's a long way from New Rochelle. How did you end up all the way here at Iona?
Definitely. So my 2 older sisters went to school at Quinnipiac, actually. One played softball, one played volleyball. So I kind of, when I would come and visit them, I had an insight of the North. And it was a lot different from what I'm used to in Florida. So I liked how there was seasons and there were so many things that were different and fun. And the education up here is really strong. So when I was contacted by Iona, I was like, oh my goodness, that's really far away. But it was the best decision I ever made. I knew I had to take a chance on it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, definitely a good choice to come here. I'm sure your sister is give you a little grief whenever you play Quinnipiac in volleyball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so you're the only 5th-year senior on this team, so you've been here longer than everybody else. You've got a lot of experience at Iona, so how do you use that experience to help the younger players get used to what it takes to compete at this D1 level?
Yeah, so I was lucky enough to have a year where I could just focus on rehab and focus on myself, so I learned a lot through that year, and having kind of an extra year under my belt helps a lot with experience and kind of realizing it's just a game and we're here for something much bigger than 25 points of volleyball. So I guess I kind of realized the big picture with things, and experience helps a lot, helping with the younger girls. There's a lot of things that I've experienced my first year that other people haven't. So it's kind of nice that we all bring our own background and to help each other in the best way possible.
Yeah, you mentioned you had that redshirt year where you had the injury. You were out the entire 2017 season. You mentioned you also played the role the coach on the sideline there. So what did you learn that year about yourself and and the game of volleyball, how to persevere, how to get yourself back to the level where you were playing top-notch volleyball again?
Yeah, I like to say it was the most challenging year, but it was probably the most rewarding. It's not very common to be able to take a year off and just focus on yourself and kind of rehabbing to get where you need to be. So I took a position as a coach mentality, basically, and it was nice to see the bigger picture and to see how things were on the court from the sidelines. And I think I learned a lot about defensive plays and specific players and how to get yourself in and out of situations. So it was very beneficial, and it was an opportunity that I think was meant for me. And learning a lot through that year has put me in a great position.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure it must have been a big change going from your whole life, you're playing volleyball, you're on the court, you're working with teams, all of a sudden you're on the sideline. Sure,
yeah.
What was that like? Just sort of having to adjust that mindset for the year?
Yeah, it's probably an athlete's worst nightmare to get hurt like that and kind of be out for a year, but I took the challenge head on, and I was very eager to take the positives out of it and kind of refurbish myself in some ways, mentally and physically. So I had a lot of support from my family and a lot of people that are close to me, which I was very lucky for. So I think with their support and just kind of my eagerness to get back out there, that's what like carried me through my rehab.
Yeah, and obviously come back last year. You're part of Iona's MAC championship squad a year ago. First time Iona's won the MAC volleyball championship since '04. And when you first got here freshman year, your team won 10 games. So what's the biggest change you noticed of last year's team as opposed to the previous ones you've been on to help sort of bring the group together to win it all?
Yeah, I think every year here is different with every team, every coach, and so I think we did a really great job of buying in last year, and I think we had a lot of good people and good places, and as well as this year, we have great people and great places. So we really bought into the culture of Iona volleyball, and that's something that'll never change, and it's something that we're very proud to have built. So I think we were very focused on the team aspect, and I think I see those qualities in this team as well. So we kind of just bought in, and we were laser focused on getting what we wanted out of the season.
Yeah, and the season ends up at the MAC championships, and you end up down, I think, in Orlando, right,
Yeah,
for the NCAAs.
yeah.
So, like, what was that experience like going down to Orlando to play?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That's where I'm from.
Yeah.
So I got to bring my team back to my house to meet my family and my pet turtle. So they really enjoyed that. It was kind of cool how everything came full circle. Having the MAC championship at Disney was an amazing experience, and to win in front of my family and friends and my best friends on the team, I think was something that I'll never forget. I still get the chills to this day. And then moving forward to Pitt, it was an experience that I'll never forget. I think it was very challenging, and we knew the challenge we had before us, but we kind of like took it head on, and we were very excited to get better as people.
Before we get to this year, I want to ask real quick, like, you have a pet turtle?
Yeah. Yeah, so we found him when me and my sisters and my brother were very young, and we couldn't let him go. So, yeah, his name is Squirt, and my teammates love him. They see Snapchats and pictures of him all the time. So
Squirt's the unofficial mascot of Iona this
yeah,
year.
yeah, I guess so.
So you guys this year, you kicked off the conference season. You're 1-1 so far in MAC play. How do you guys think you stack up with the rest of the league this season?
We don't like to focus on wins or losses. We like to focus on our process. So we had a good preseason, and I think we're coming together as a team every day, and our whole goal is no matter when we step on the court, we're getting better. So I think if we keep that mentality, we should have a great year, and I think we're going to keep our culture intact and be good people on and off the court, and I'm really looking forward to what we can do on the court this year.
All right, last one from me. This is your last year here, so you're done after this year. So what are your plans going forward? It's like after you graduate, what do you hope to do next?
So I don't really have plans right now, but I'm in the works of looking for jobs either here or at home. So just trying to have a little faith and believe that everything will work out for the right reason.
All right, there you have it, Jessica Paolucci. Thanks for all the time and stopping by the studio today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.